Today's episode is for the woman who knows she's meant to be seen, but still isn't showing up the way she wants to. Maybe visibility feels vulnerable, or maybe you're tired of trying to sound right. Or maybe you've just been watching others grow online and thinking that could be me if I could just figure out how to start or what to say. So I'm joined by the incredible Alicia Telt, a global tech executive at LinkedIn, soon to be former, turned LinkedIn strategist and community builder. She's on a mission to help people ditch the self doubt and build bold personal brands that actually feel like them and that help their businesses grow. So, Alicia grew her audience by over 10,000 people in just 3 months, and she did it without spending hours a day online or becoming someone she's not. So, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about why personal branding on LinkedIn is more powerful than ever, especially with the age of AI, what it takes to grow your visibility while staying rooted in your values, and the cringe, the confidence, and the community building moments that shaped her message and momentum. So, if you've been lurking on the sidelines, waiting for your voice to feel ready, this episode will meet you where you're at and help you take one aligned step forward. So, Alicia, thank you so much for being here. I am really excited to chat today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Haley. I'm very excited.
I always love to give our listeners a little bit of your background and story to kind of help explain how you went from where you are in the B2B tech sales and LinkedIn space as now jumping off, starting your own thing, building a community. So, what led you here and a little bit of your story?
Yeah. I always think like whatever happens in your life, like from an early stage, shapes to like what you are today. So for me, like I grew up in Germany. That's where my accent is from. I try to shake it. I just can't. I'm just stuck
I
with
love
it.
it.
I embrace it. I try to embrace it. But yeah, I grew up in Germany and I hated school. I could not think of anything worse. So then once I had my A levels, I decided not to go to university. And I've done an apprenticeship instead because my parents were still like, well, you need like some sort of education and like, what else will you do? So I started an apprenticeship at SAP. So this was like my entry into the tech world. I'm in Germany where I'm from. This is where SAP is also founded. So their headquarters. So it was very much like an easy thing kind of to do. I kind of fell into it. Was just thinking like, I don't know what else to do. I don't want to go to university. So let's just do it. And this is so often how like people that work in sales. So I've now worked in like B2B tech sales for 15 years. People just fall into it, but I actually really embraced it and I enjoyed it. And this is like how my career has been like shaped. But what like key moment was I finished my apprenticeship after like around 4 years it took. And then I booked a one-way ticket to London. I didn't speak English. I mean, I spoke like a few words, but I didn't know anyone, didn't have a job lined up. I was literally just like, I just want to like experience kind of like an adventure and just see what happens. I had like money for like 3 weeks, kind of, and I booked into a hostel and I just went over. And I think this is like those like key moments where I realized it all then worked out. And I'm happy to go into this, but it's basically like that key moment of like do something bold, just go with it and have trust and faith that it will all work out. And always think about like, what is your plan B? In my case, the plan B was, okay, I have 3 weeks. If I don't find a job and I was willing to be a cleaner, working at Starbucks, whatever it took, I don't care, as long as I can pay like rent and feed myself. And I knew, okay, if it doesn't work out, I just go back to Germany. Like I can move in with my parents again, whatever it might be. But just taking that leap and that plunge. And then in the end, it did work out. Luckily, as I'm German speaking, there are people on offices that look for a German speaker. So it all worked out for me. Like I landed then in the end a job at MasterCard. Having worked for SAP really helped in my CV. And from this on, I just continued like my sales career in B2B tech sales. But yeah, that like key moment of just like taking that leap and then realizing it all worked out. Everything falls into place. As long as you're bold and brave, the universe rewards the bold. This is what you need to do. And then also now leaving my job at LinkedIn, I have a very well-paid job. I have a good career. And I just think like, look, I don't want to be 90 years old looking back onto my life and thinking you always had that itch of like wanting to do something on your own. And I would hate to just be regretful and not having done it. And I just try to think back of like my younger self of just taking that leap and just trying to figure shit out. And my plan B currently, in worst case, I just go back into a corporate job. I have the confidence, I will always find another job. And that's my plan B. And the funny thing is currently, like my plan B, my worst case scenario is working in a corporate job. And that's what I'm currently doing. So I was just like, look, just quit your job, try it, take the leap and see what happens. Yeah. This is it.
Oh, I love that. I think we're so much alike in that way where I have always been just, I make a decision. I'm like, I'm going for it. I have a plan B. If it doesn't work out, I'll just go back and get a job, right? That's how I was when I left. And I always felt like I was doing things backward because I didn't have a ton of money in my savings account. I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. I'm just like, this is what I want to do. I want that freedom of, I have 4 little boys at home, 8 and under. And so for me, even just being in corporate was just not sustainable. It didn't work with our life. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'll figure it out. And if not, I'll go back and get a job.
Yeah.
And
Any regret?
any regret? No, no regret at all. It's not always easy, but it's worth it, and I think it helps that you're building something that's yours. But what I've seen from everything you've been sharing online, you're not just doing it to make money. While yes, we need to make money because we need to pay bills and feed ourselves, but the money also allows us to make a bigger impact on the things that we want to impact, on the people we want to impact. And just by what you've been posting and sharing, I know that you are already making a difference, already making an impact, and just allowing people to show up, be bold, be brave, take those leaps just by the things that you're sharing. So I think just going into it, I know there's a lot of people out there, myself included, that maybe want to be more visible online or on LinkedIn or make a bigger impact, it's a little bit scary, right? So, how did you take that leap? Maybe you share a little bit more about what made you decide to go all in and grow your following and just start showing up as who you are.
And such good things that you said there in terms of just you want to be visible, but at the same time you're scared. And us women, for some reason, we are so much more inclined to just stay like quiet. And I think I'm not sure whether it is just a female thing or not, but we've always been brought up and taught to like let your work speak for itself. Don't brag. Don't like celebrate yourself. Like just stay quiet and do a good job. And that doesn't nowadays doesn't get you anywhere, especially in the world of AI. Like you, your personal brand is your biggest asset. And I could talk about this for hours. For me, I was in a completely different life just a few years ago. Some people might have seen it. I've posted about this. Just physically, I was in a different body, but also mentally. And I didn't have that confidence to show up and speak up. But then when I actually started speaking up, I realized like all the opportunities that are coming my way. So now I'm just so passionate about encouraging, especially women, to find their voice and to speak up because it just opens so many doors. And for me, particularly working for LinkedIn, you might like think that everyone who works for LinkedIn is like kind of like on the platform and posting and doing those things. And we know everything what to do and how to show up. We have no fucking clue. Nobody says that we have to post. Like LinkedIn is just another big corporation in that regard of just like, yeah, leaving the employees to their own devices, kind of like there's no like blueprint on what to do. But when I was working with my clients at LinkedIn, I was always encouraging them like build your personal brand, show up, be visible, like especially in sales. Like if you're in a sales role, and any entrepreneur or founder is in a sales role, essentially. Like if nobody knows what you're doing, how are they supposed to find you and to buy services from you? So I was always like educating my clients around this. And then I realized I'm just telling them in theory what to do. I've never done it myself. I never posted myself. So earlier this year in February, I said to myself, okay, I'm doing it myself because I want to know what it actually means to post on LinkedIn, to show like my face, to be visible. I had no idea what I wanted to talk about, where it takes me, but I just thought, just start. Just start posting because then at least I can say to my clients, this is what it takes. This is how it feels like we always say this is like the cringe mountain because when you start posting, it feels so weird being visible. So I wanted to experience it for myself so I can advise my clients better. But then once I started posting, I actually realized, oh my God, there's so many doors that are opening for me because I was visible. So many connections that I had from the past, current clients, etc. Everyone suddenly saw me over and over again. And that encouraged so many different opportunities. And now I'm taking the leap to leave LinkedIn just because I built my personal brand. And this is why I'm so passionate to encourage everyone to just start posting, to just get your voice out there, to talk about yourself, celebrate yourself, be authentic, and just show up because it's nowadays more important than it ever was.
Yes, I 100% agree. And I think, too, a lot of the times I tell my clients, people don't always work with you because of what you say you can do it for them while the results and all of that is a big part, but they're working with you because of the experience of working with you. Like they come to know you, to like you, to trust you, but you connect with them on a deeper level, right? As a personal brand, it's all about who you are and how you show up and how you work together with them because you might be doing the same exact thing as someone else out there, but you're showing up completely different. And that's really important.
So true. Just very quickly on that, because people in buying, and this is, I don't know how old, but it's like people make emotional buying decisions. Nobody will buy from you if they don't like you. So it's like buying decision is human to human. So if you already show up and you show who you are and this is your authentic self, you will find those people that want to make business with you. You already weed out those people that do not want to buy from you, and that's totally fine. But you already like kind of like cut through that whole crap. Like you just make sure you show up as your true self. And this is how the right people find you. This is how you make business. And this is so important, showing your authentic self, because then people can make the decision of like, yes, I want to buy from you because Brad or Gary or Steve, they're offering exactly as I said, like the same service. But I want to buy from you because I really like you and I like your experiences and I like how you approach things and I like the lens that you have on things. This is why I want to buy from you and not from Gary or Steve.
Yes, yes, definitely. Like you said, it helps weed out the people that aren't right for you. So you're not wasting a bunch of time on sales calls that are with people that are the wrong fit. Like they're already weeding themselves out. So you don't have to do that part. And you don't have to waste time being on calls because time is precious, right? We all
Yeah.
want more time. We all want more freedom. And so I think even being able to show up and be authentic and be yourself and get it out there just helps even create that more for you. So maybe walk through, I think a big thing for me and maybe for others listening is okay, I want to do this. I want to challenge myself. I actually just said this on another interview the other day because I've been thinking about you and I'm like, I want to just challenge myself to show up every day on LinkedIn. And it's helping build confidence too. But it's like, okay, I have all of these things. What do I say? What do I post? Can you walk through how you decided? Like, did you sit down and make a content plan, or it was just every day you're like, this is what's coming to mind. I'm going to throw this out there. Like, is there a strategy behind it?
It's such a good question. And I think actually, the more you think about it, the more you will not post. The more you overthink it and you think like, oh, the algorithm and I should do this and I should do this and that might work well. And then you don't do it. Then it becomes like a chore rather than something you enjoy doing. You need to find something in order to stay consistent with it, something that nurtures you, that you have fun with it, where you can unleash your creativity. So don't overthink it. And also, what I would say, like, yes, posting on LinkedIn every day would be amazing, but also that could be like too big of a mountain to climb for someone who hasn't started. What I would say, show up on LinkedIn every day, but you don't have to post every day. Because there's so much currently, like when you start posting on LinkedIn and you haven't really like, you have maybe 1,000 followers or 500 followers from like your colleagues, etc. But they're kind of dormant because you haven't engaged with them recently. Your audience is not active. So when you actually then do post and you get only like 1 or 2 likes, you just think like, well, this is not working and this is shit and I don't want to do this. It's a lot of effort and it's not working. So in the beginning, I always advise people, do a lot behind the scenes, send out connection requests, be active in the DMs, leave comments, and then maybe post like just 3 times a week in the beginning, just to get like to land your feet. You will automatically get more posting ideas as you go along. Like nowadays, when I walk down the street, I'm like, oh, that makes a good LinkedIn post. And I should talk about this and this. In the beginning, don't overcomplicate it because that just builds that barrier of just starting. The algorithm changes all the time and it's so unpredictable and you never know if a post will do well or not. But what you do have in control is the actions that you're taking, like the connection requests, the commenting, being active in your DMs. And that really helps that when you do then post, that your post performs better.
Oh, thank you. That I think that's gold. And even just setting aside a time on a calendar, because I know it happens to me sometimes when then I go on LinkedIn. You're right, I overthink it, so then it doesn't happen, or I just completely go down a rabbit hole, and then an hour later, there I am still, like, looking at posts and like, "Oh, I should come and done that," and, so just maybe even setting a timer and making it feel more doable.
I actually always say like the 20-20-20 method, which is like, it's not proven, whatever. This is just something I came up with. But it's like basically an hour per day. If you think about it, yes, an hour per day, you think like, oh my God, an hour on LinkedIn. But actually, if you think about your business, in order to drive your business forward, you need to do sales. And sales done nowadays on LinkedIn is just such a good way. So prioritize this as like, this is how I grow my business. How they always say, like, you shouldn't spend your focus and energy on like $10 tasks. It should be spent on like $1,000 or $10,000 tasks. And being active on LinkedIn can be those $10,000, $1,000 tasks, because this is where you might land those high paying clients. And then the 20-20-20 method is where I say like 20 connection requests a day, 20 comments on other people's posts, and 20 minutes in your DMs. That's a kind of like, it's broken down, it's actionable every day. You know exactly what you need to do, tick off that list, and then you're done. And then posting that 3 times a week. And you should be like, this will like grow your audience so much. Yeah.
That is really helpful. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. So 20 new connection requests, 20 comments, and 20 minutes in your DMs.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
also with the DMs, it's like when you have been active with someone in the DMs and then you post, they will see your content. So that's why you want to be active in the DMs. But also this is where the selling happens. This is where you get to know people. This is how you expand your network. This is how you get like speaking opportunities, etc. So you need to like be active in your DMs. And if you already have a set amount of followers, let's say 500 followers, you can just reactivate them. You can just go through your followers and your existing followers and send them a message and say, hey, we haven't been in touch for a while, or I see we are connected. Like, how are you doing? And just ask an easygoing, open-ended question just to trigger that conversation. So they're no longer like a dormant follower, because that means the algorithm will now show your content to them.
That is so helpful. And to me, it makes it feel a lot more attainable. I like attaching like specific numbers to things and also having easy ways. Like, I don't always have to go out and find new people. I can just reconnect with those that are already there. And I think that is so helpful, especially when I tend to, like I said, just go down that rabbit hole of like, yes, it's an end an endless thing, so
Exactly.
that helps keep it attainable for me.
Exactly with that rabbit hole. Because if you have like that structure to it, when you say like, okay, I do this task now, 20 connection requests, that's what you do within your like 1 hour slot. So you have a bit of a guideline of what to do. So you're not doom scrolling and not really sure what to do on LinkedIn.
Yes, and then it helps make me feel like I accomplished something, and like you said, it's doing a sales activity, and so I always and I tell my clients this too, is I do 3 things every single day. Like, if I only had to do 3 things to feel accomplished in a day, and it's a sales activity, something for mindset and energy, and then just nurturing. So whether it's just reaching out to a past client or a current client and just sending them a message. A sales activity could be just what you're saying, is going on LinkedIn or sending out an email. And then mindset for me is going on my walks, because I need to just get out of the house, get away from the computer, and be in nature. What you're saying exactly is like, that is a sales activity, because
Yeah.
you are able, like, I've found high ticket clients on LinkedIn. And so I love that. So, how has LinkedIn kind of going to, because I know that you've also on the side been building this book club community, and you have a really big goal of impacting more people. And I think I read on your latest post, like Oprah level impact, right? Like those bigger, not just like I help people with their LinkedIn. But share more about your book club. What are you doing? How did this idea come about?
Yeah. So I love reading, but I love reading self-development books. And I always realized I read a book and I think it's amazing. I'm very like inspired. And then a month later, I've forgotten about it and I don't take any action. And or sometimes I start a book and I don't finish it. And I was thinking like, how good would it be to actually read a self-development book with someone else and hold each other accountable and share like your thoughts and opinions. And like when you have to do like tasks in that book, like you can share what you're doing and the outcomes. So I posted on LinkedIn like really randomly. And this was early on in my journey. Like I only had like 2,000, 3,000 followers at this point. 2,000 of them were like quite dormant. I literally just posted. And this is also something like building in public. Like I didn't say, I'm launching this book club. I just said like, hey, would anyone like want to read books with me? Like if I were to launch this book club, would you join? And I was actually expecting like, look, also if no one would have said anything, then fair enough. Like I was just seeing Like, it doesn't feel like, I don't feel like a failure if I put it out in that way. And then, yeah, lots of people commented. And within a week, we already had 100 members and we are now over 400 members. I haven't really like pushed it as much. Like I post about it every now and then, but women naturally find it. And now the community is just incredible. So we read a self-development book each month and we have a WhatsApp chat and we just talk to each other. And we are basically just like a massive hype department. Like we are just women that share like their vulnerability, what they want to achieve, their goals, and they share their journeys and what they have to overcome and the challenges. We are just there to really support each other. And I think when people and not just women come together and just really support each other, this is where like magic happens, because the energy is just like on another level where you just get that confidence of like, I can do this. And then you brainstorm and you like find ideas and you collaborate. And this is just such a beautiful space. And as I said earlier, like, especially for us women, we are often told to be kept quiet. So this is just like the perfect opportunity for me to build a community to like shout out even louder what I truly think. Like still working on LinkedIn, and in LinkedIn, posting on LinkedIn, I still have to like tone down some of my content, even though it is very authentic already and very bold. But like in my community, I can like say outright exactly what I think. And so many people say it's just so refreshing because I have been thinking in exactly the same way. And it's so good to hear that someone else is thinking along the same lines. And I just, yeah, I love this community where we just open and honest and vulnerable and hype each other up.
I love that. I think it's so needed. Like you said, it's just a space to be you, to be open, to be vulnerable, but to connect with others that are on the same journey as you and to help lift each other up. And we all need that. Like you said, it just builds that confidence. And with the confidence comes building a bigger business that helps impact more people, getting the word out there. And now I'm excited because I just joined the book club this morning.
Oh,
So it's funny when I saw that because what you said in the beginning is I have been reading all of these self development books, all of these business books, but I read it and then I forget it, right? Or I read it and I don't implement. So there's a few women that we just started rereading the 10x is easier than 2x book.
oh,
Like,
that was in our like shortlist. So we done a poll just a few days ago what our next book shall be. And it
mm,
was on it and it came second. So we're not reading it, but I'm very keen to read it. So I need to pick your brain on whether it's actually like a good book
yes,
to read.
no, I love it. And so I've read it once already and it was really powerful. But now all of us are like, we want to go back and read it and actually hold each other accountable on taking the action. Because just like anything we do in business, we can learn it and we can learn, learn, learn. But unless we take action and we do it, it's not going to work. Nothing's going
Exactly.
to happen because we're not taking action. And so it goes back to the beginning of take that action, be bold, be brave, and just get it out there. Because even
And
if
learn from your
it,
failures.
right,
Like,
yes,
exactly.
even if it doesn't work, that just sets you up for a better opportunity. Or, okay, it didn't work. What's next?
Exactly. I love
And
that.
so defining success and what this show is all about is like we get to write our own stories, especially now as you're, you know, you're being an entrepreneur, you're starting your own business, you get to define your own path and what success looks like for you. So, how are you doing that? What does success look like for you?
It's such a good and deep question. I was always thinking if I put the same amount of energy into my own business that I put into my corporate job, like the sky is the limit. And I just love to have that freedom. And this is what I mean. Basically, success for me is freedom, the freedom to make my own decisions, to shift gears whenever I want to shift gears, to change paths whenever I want to change paths, but also then having that freedom of determining how much time I want to spend on my business. Do I want to hustle for like 2 months and then take 2 months off? Whatever it is, I just want to have that freedom to design my life in exactly the way that aligns to me, that is true to me. And yeah, taking control over my own life and making my own decisions without anyone or anything standing in the way. So, success, obviously, most people think it's a monetary value. And yes, money is important because it makes your life so much easier. It opens doors for you, whatever. But actually, I feel like the older you get, the more you realize you want to live a life that makes you happy and you're loved and you just look back onto your life thinking, I formed incredible memories and I had a good time. And working for me is like, it brings me energy if I work on the things that are actually aligned to what I do. So having the freedom to work on the things that I want to do in the way that I want to do it, this is like success for me. And I believe that money will follow. Whenever you do something that is aligned with you, that you're passionate and energetic about, I have no doubt money will come to you if it's the right thing you're pursuing.
Yes. Oh, that is such a good message because it is so true. And I have been on that kind of realigning, refinding what I really want out of this business because, year one was really hard. Year two is like just grew. And then year three, it's kind of okay, I wanted to grow, grow, go again, but I have to now bring it back to what do I actually want and what does that look like? And how does it align for me and create that freedom? And sometimes it can be hard, but if you always bring it back to what's your bigger mission and what's your bigger vision, then you can have that energy and the money will follow.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
amazing. Thank you so much, Alicia, for being here today, sharing this. I know those little gold nuggets that you gave us are going to help me, and I am going to make myself get out there and stop being afraid. So, if people, I know you're done in what is it, like 5 days?
5 days. Monday is my last days on the 30th. I'm so excited and nervous and panicking. But hey, it's part of the journey.
You got this. You got this. You will do fabulous and amazing and impact so many people. I have no doubt about that. So if people do want to learn more or join the book club or follow you, like where can they find you or how can they get in touch with you?
It is LinkedIn. Like literally, I'm on no other social media platform. I'm like in the background on TikTok lurking, but you can find me on LinkedIn and I would love to connect with people. If anyone is listening and wants to reach out to me and just say hi, please, please do this. I love meeting people. So yeah, LinkedIn is the place to go.
Amazing. Thank you, Alicia. And I know that our listeners also got so much gold out of this. So thank you.
Thank you.